All right, well, it's starting.
Oh, man. Welcome to the pre-post show.
TJ is a douche.
You know, I was reading Paul's review of Endgame. You double psyched me in that fucking review.
Oh, yeah? I wanted it to psych people out. I wanted people to go, oh, of course he fucking is.
Well, you know, so you started off making me think you were going to... Because you start off the review where you're like, you know, when I went into this movie, I thought I was going to hate it. And it's, you know, people always say, like, you know, there's always like another shoe drops where it's like, well, you know, actually. But instead, you were like, when the movie started out, I thought I was going to hate it. And then I did.
I did.
And then, but then all of a sudden at the end, I was like, wow, this is pretty cool.
That's actually how it went
I
down.
know.
Like, I really fixated super hard on the whole time travel bullshit.
Right.
To the point of, like, it really kind of, I think, detracted from a lot of the movie. But then, like, that ending battle scene was so insane. It was just so insane to see the whole length and breadth of the whole, you know, Marvel comic universe on the same battlefield.
Somewhere along the line, it just occurs to you, like, wow, this is actually a pretty impressive accomplishment they've done.
I mean, it's beyond impressive.
So, like, cinematically, I mean, like, no one's even done anything vaguely.
No one's even tried,
similar,
and I can't imagine somebody will for a good long time.
I mean, you see how fucking inept DC's fucking attempts at the same
We're
are.
here, guys. It's DC. We got heroes.
It's not a perfect movie. You know, my criticism still stands that, like, time travel is typically lazy,
Sure.
and in this film, I think it kind of is. Although, I've looked back on it, you know, it's kind of sucks that it's not on VOD because I can't watch it again real quick to kind of cleanse my palate of my original watch. But like looking back on it now, the time travel, at least they used it, you know, as a way to, like, revisit all the big set pieces, you know, from the...
Yeah, I mean, it was like kind
it
of
was
like,
fan service.
Let's go. Yeah, I mean, it was like a total... It was just like the Marvel Universe's love letter to itself, which is kind of indulgent, sure, but, you know, also it kind of puts a neat little bow on everything.
Also, I mean, I think it had one of the most actually impactful movie deaths in a long time because, like, a lot of times it's just like it's like a joke. Like Game of Thrones, like, oh, they're gonna kill this season. It's like, and it's like it's become so cheap in a lot of shows. Where it's like,
they didn't use it over often in the series. So, like, when it actually came down and happened, and it just happens to be, you know, the character that everybody started to identify with the Marvel comic universe. I mean, I think Iron Man pretty much launched the MCU.
Spoilers, by the way. But,
well, whatever. I mean, at this point,
the spoiler ban is done. Even the Russos have said we're okay to spoil shit.
Yeah, and I mean, I got to be honest with you. That was the one thing I was spoiled on going in. It was the you know, the one thing that I overheard or read somewhere.
I kind of suspected that was going to happen, but I didn't know for sure. But then when it happened, I mean, it happened in pretty much the coolest way possible, and they gave Tony pretty much the coolest
send off.
Yeah, that you could possibly. And, you know, I don't know, when I was in the theater, and now I obviously saw it with the midnight crowd, but when they were doing that whole little montage at the end, right, when the start of the end credits where they showed all the people, it's like this person was this person was that, and it's kind of like their curtain call for the entire 10 years of the Marvel Universe. The only one that actually got an applause was you know,
Tony Stark.
Tony Stark, and you know, Robert Downey Jr. as Tony Stark / Iron Man.
Well, it's definitely the most interesting character turn in a series filled with really interesting character turns. So, you know, I don't know. I just appreciated it.
I feel like that character really had a lot of ups and downs in terms of how he was written. There was a lot of times where I did not think Tony Stark was written well.
Yeah.
Particularly in Civil War. And I don't think the two follow-up movies to Iron Man stood out that much as being great Marvel Cinematic Universe movies. I thought he was great in the first Avengers. Don't really remember him too much in the second Avengers. And he was great in these two movies. So he's been kind of up and down, I feel like. But great send-off, though.
About the best way he can go off from the MCU.
And I love Thanos' facial expression of just, like, total and utter disbelief that he's been defeated.
Yeah, I mean, I was a little disappointed once again, being such a Thanos of Thanos. That
I thought if there was anything that was gonna maybe tick you off a little, it'd be that, you know, because that first, you know, Infinity War was obviously the movie to give Thanos that character development and weight. But I feel like
it was it was his philosophical treatise to the world.
Right. I feel like they kind of stepped it back a little. I mean, obviously, we're dealing with a Thanos that is, 5 years earlier or whatever. He hasn't gone through the sacrifices and stuff that he went through to.
Right, and we're also dealing with a Thanos who sees his impending defeat at the hands of these people who are traveling through time to undo what he did.
Right.
So
Yeah, he's seen a vision of his own death, which obviously is not. He's not too keen on that.
And I mean, I got to be honest with you. I remember in your review, because I went back and read it obviously after I went and saw the movie.
Right.
And in your review, you said you were kind of disappointed that Thanos just turned into like a kill everybody type of villain.
Right.
But that's honestly like it's close to his comic book character.
Yeah, I mean, sure, but I didn't think it was. I didn't think it was appropriate for the way they set him up in Infinity War necessarily.
Yeah.
But in retrospect,
there was just so little of him here.
We got an entire film of character development for him,
Yeah.
and that probably, that should have carried. That carries on. It doesn't. I don't think it carries on as much into Endgame as they thought it was going to, maybe. But he was still there. He was still Thanos. He was still badass. The fight that they had at the end with him was great.
He was still definitely the cure to Marvel's fucking the biggest question.
That entire 30 or 40-minute battle at the end is probably one of the coolest things I've ever seen.
It's about an hour actually.
Yeah, I mean it's amazing.
It's an hour, but Thanos really cured the ill, which is a lot of MCU movies. Even if they were good characters, besides that, the villains almost always universally were lame. They sucked. And Thanos was finally the first one that delivered. I mean, seeing him obviously, he has to die, whatever, but. I think that's going to be the biggest challenge for Marvel is like making the villains interesting. I mean, obviously they're probably going to recast a lot of these movies, so I think I don't know what direction the MCU is going, but it's.
I mean, they have a few choices. I mean, they could just go with another, oh shit, Galactus is coming or something.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, that'd be. I could see that
if they did it right.
I hope I hope it's not just so crass such as that. I mean, obviously, I know it's a fucking superhero film, so there has to be
there's got to be a big bad.
But build him up like they built Thanos up, dude.
Don't
just fucking shove him his ass in there.
They're gonna have to do something like that where, it's gonna be if they're gonna do Galactus or someone of that nature, then they're gonna have to spend some films building up that premise.
Yeah. They've already done Apocalypse, and he never really faced off against the Avengers that I remember. So, but he would be a good one.
Yeah, I mean now they own the rights to all those X-Men characters again. So
I mean it seems like that's where they're pointing their next generation of MCU stuff is at this young X-Men team, and then Spider-Man obviously is going to continue on from what I hear. I don't know.
So there's a few things they could do. I don't know.
I'm taking a bow
hiatus.
at this point. Yeah, I'm not saying I'll never watch them, but I'm just not going to be interested in them for a while. I feel like I'm done with superhero movies for a while because let's be honest, there's really not going to be something that approaches these last two MCU films for a good long time.
Probably not.
No.
And I'm kind of bored with the whole premise.
Yeah. I'm not really. I mean, I understand the cynicism that some people have about the superhero movies, but to me, I don't know. I'm just endless. I'm an endless glut for them. I could just fucking.
I'm fine with
give me more.
different spins on it. Like I'll go see this Joker movie. That's
that
separate in my
looks
mind.
Interesting.
I'm just done with the MCU.
Yeah, but don't you think that holds back other kind of cinema from coming out when you have something where it's like one genre? It's kind of like how westerns were in
well, that's
it just sets it up.
the mid 20th century.
Yeah, I kind of feel like this is our era's western where we just can't get enough and. Obviously, the box office on these things is huge and continues to be huge.
Well, you heard about Akira being made.
Yeah, I heard about that. Akira! So maybe my prediction will come true.
Yeah, you did make that. That's why I brought it up.
I did say that
anime was.
say that anime was going to be the next thing that Hollywood just sucked every fucking ounce of creative juice out of.
God, I hope not. I hope not.
The Full Metal Alchemist movie.
There was already one in Japan that's awful. These I don't know. They got to figure out how to do the live. The problem is that they're going to get all this cultural appropriation shit because they're going to want to put white people in it, but there's going to be anger every time they do. Even though in all of these animes, most of the characters fucking look white. I mean, they have like blonde hair and blue eyes and shit.
I mean, that's why
for some reason casting a blonde hair, blue eyed actor is a fucking sacrilege.
That's why I said Full Metal Alchemist would be a good choice for them to make because it doesn't take place in Japan. It's like a fictional country.
Yeah, that's very reminiscent of Germany.
Yeah, basically, yeah, kind of like an analog for like a Germany.
Could be. Yeah, but people are stupid. They're still gonna get mad. What cultural blah blah blah? Wah wah wah. You know how people are. You know these fuckers. You know how these fuckers are, Scotty. These fuckers, these screwheads.
I'm not racist like you two just. I really don't know, buddy.
Yeah, you know what? You don't really see anymore though at the cinema is a good comedy. Seems like comedy movies are kind of dead.
Yeah, comedy does feel pretty dead.
Yeah, I mean,
how long has it been since a really oh man, that's a great comedy? Like,
well,
nah, it's been a long time.
Everyone gets offended too easily now, so they just have to avoid those.
It's not a lighthearted age, though. You know, comedies tend to. I guess comedies can be a salve on a dark age.
I mean, it's kind of like I feel like like we watch movies like Endgame and shit. There's a lot of comedy in it. There's a lot of comedic moments. Yeah, there's a lot of comedic moments.
But I wouldn't call Endgame a comedy.
No, it's not.
Right.
It has a lot of jokes, and there are some laugh moments, and the same with Infinity War. Even with all the density of subject matter they were doing with that.
How about this for a hot take?
Yeah.
We live in a hypersensitive age, and a large part of being funny is being able to laugh at ourselves, and we can't laugh at ourselves now.
Yeah.
So everything that would be funny, like I'm not saying that like the only thing that is funny is racially tinged humor or slightly off-kilt misogynist type humor or whatever the fuck. But I'm just saying when you're denied access to those things, you have to tiptoe around everybody's feelings. It's hard to find avenues to be funny. There's a lot of restriction on what is or isn't a joke these days.
Like, let's see, best comedies of 2018. It's looking pretty sad here.
Yeah.
I'll show you the screen here when I
pull
type
up.
that up. Game Night, which I've never heard of.
Game Night? Yeah, I never heard of it.
Cock Blockers with John Cena.
Yeah, I never heard of that.
Sorry to Bother You. Have you heard of that? I haven't heard of it.
No.
Deadpool 2, which sucked in my opinion.
Yeah, it was not that great.
The Spy Who Dumped Me. That sounds awful. Ocean's 8. Ant-Man and the Wasp, which, Paul, didn't you say you turned that off after like 10 minutes?
I did.
This is the only Marvel Cinematic Universe movie I have not seen, by the way.
I wouldn't recommend it.
Super Troopers 2. Wow.
It's just too goofy, man. It's too goofy. Like, it really is, though, they're trying to do a comedy movie.
It's going to be so fucking goofy.
No, it's no good.
How about 2017? Was there anything good that year?
No.
Girls Trip, Logan Lucky, Lady Bird, Thor Ragnarok. I guess they are classifying all these Marvel movies as fucking comedies.
I mean, I think that's a broad categorization.
Yeah. The House, Baywatch.
Ugh.
I mean, Jesus.
Yeah, it's abysmal.
It's a dearth, dude. We're
2016.
We're just fucking.
The original Deadpool. I guess that was actually pretty funny. I've heard good things about The Nice Guys, but I've never seen it. Ghostbusters Answer the Call.
Decent.
That was ass.
Nice Guys was an okay movie. It wasn't a great movie.
You've
But it was
seen it?
okay. Yeah.
What did you think of Sausage Party? Because that movie seems to really divide people.
Ugh.
I just didn't think it was that interesting.
I thought it was pretty funny.
I haven't seen it. So there you go. 3 different takes.
I liked it.
TJ liked it, Scotty didn't, and I didn't bother.
I heard some people say Spy is good. I've never seen it. This Melissa McCarthy one here. Ted 2 I didn't see because even the first one was kind of like, all right, whatever.
It wore thin, yeah.
Vacation, that was like bombed. That bombed and was critically a dud. Why is it?
Hey, dude. That's the state of the fucking movie industry in
just look at
2017.
this shit. It's just garbage. Like, no one's making good comedies anymore. Like, what happened to, like, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles and shit?
Because at this point, someone...
Jerk.
Because now, you can't make a comedy without someone being hugely offended, and Hollywood would rather just avoid all that.
Right, because think about all the jokes in that fucking hilarious masterpiece of a film that wouldn't work. All the fat jokes that are at John Candy's expense. You can't fat shame anymore, so that goes out. All the weird kind of pseudo-homosexual gags where, like, that's not my... like where they're grossed out by the idea of physical intimacy between a man. All that's got to go. We can't have that.
I've gone
They're
back
villains if you do that.
I've gone back to 2012. I did think 21 Jump Street was
you remember that scene where Steve Martin very abusively lashes out at a female airline ticket attendant? That has to go. I mean, that's borderline arrestable at this point.
I did like the campaign too. I didn't think
see
it was
it.
great, but it was pretty decent.
I don't know, dude. I gotta feel like I'm at least a little bit responsible for my own part in there being no comedies, because you know what? I'm not really looking for them right now.
Right.
I'm not in the mood. I'm not. Like, maybe I'll go back and watch an old comedy that I know is good. But as far as like me going to see a new comedy movie or whatever, that's just not where my brain is, man. And maybe the nation is kind of in the same boat.
I just wish that, I mean, I don't know. I feel like if you put out the right fucking, I just feel like comedy is like right now in a fucking real lull kind of period.
Yeah,
It always happens, dude.
People don't want
always
it.
Happens.
I'm going back to 2011, and I'm starting to see at least a few decent ones here and there, but
That was at a higher point of comedy. And like,
but
look,
now we're going back 10 years to get to
it ebbs
shit
and
that
flows,
actually,
man. You know, in 5 years, it might be comedy might have another resurgence.
I mean, it almost certainly will. It's just a matter of like, you know, that's why I'm not real too concerned about the superhero shit, even though I'm tired of seeing it. I know it's going to continue for a while, but I know that eventually, you know, people are just going to be fed up with it. And the demand is going to grow for some other look at things, and whether it's horror or action or anime.
Well, something's going to get greenlit. You know, something's
Yeah.
going to come out. It's going to change the landscape, and people are going to. And
I
Hollywood's
hope
going
it's
to go.
Dune, man.
I hope so. Dude.
I hope Dune drops.
sci-fi
and then-
resurgence?
Yeah, dude. I hope it's like has a Star Wars effect on the sci-fi genre and just kind of like reboots the whole site. Because that, dude, you can't tell me the time ain't ripe for that shit.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
Like
I've
people
gone
are
back-
so hungry for a good sci-fi property right now.
I've
and
had to go
it's-
back to 2009, so basically a full decade before I'm finding movies that I would actually consider really good examples of the comedy genre. So
Right.
I think the first Hangover.
Oh yeah, I mean
even
it's
though,
not.
even
It's,
though it suffers from its sequels, I think it's really solid.
I mean, it doesn't hold up quite as well as it probably should either. But yeah, no, it's a good movie.
That's
I
because
laughed
they
at it.
recycled every fucking
Right.
joke from it.
Yeah, I mean,
into
the original
three
Hangover,
hashes.
when I went to see it, I thought it was pretty fucking funny.
Zombieland, I've rewatched several times. and
Yeah,
continue
that
to
is a good
enjoy.
movie. I don't know how.
And-
I mean, I guess it is a comedy.
I love Black Dynamite.
It's
too.
a dramedy.
Black
Yeah,
Dynamite,
Black
that
Dynamite.
Was,
I'll
that
tell you
was
what,
more of an indie thing.
I've
though,
seen
so.
Zombieland once, but I remember it a lot better than a lot of other movies I've seen, so that says something about it.
Yeah,
to
it's a
me.
good one.
I'm gonna
You
go back
can't- you can't
one more
take it from
year
it.
and let's see what's going on. 2008, Step Brothers. I didn't like it.
I liked Step Brothers. I got to be honest with you.
Did you?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, dude.
I really like Tropic Thunder. So that
Yeah,
was
Tropic
fun.
Thunder I liked as well.
I liked Burn After Reading.
I did too. I didn't love it, but I liked it.
It was fun.
Dude, one movie, despite the fact that I'm a fucking stoner, that I do not like is Pineapple Express. I'm sorry.
I don't like it
I
either.
don't think it's funny.
I like Pineapple.
I don't
Express.
get why it's supposed to be funny.
See, I just like just brain dead stoner comedies.
well, that's why I like Harold and Kumar Escape from Guantanamo Bay.
That's a good movie.
oh,
Hey,
God.
remember the Don't Mess with the Zohan?
Oh Jesus.
Don't mess with the Zohan.
I've never seen it, and it's not one of Adam
That was
Sandler's
probably the dagger in the heart
popular
of
movies.
fucking
so.
comedy right
You
there.
think that was it?
Yeah.
That was the end.
People were like, okay, this comedy shit has gone too far. This is
This is
Ohan
the
shit.
end. Adam Sandler killed it all. Dude, this movie Yes Man with Jim Carrey was awful. That was when I realized Jim Carrey was kind of done.
You have to say yes to everything. It's like, oh, Jim, has thou fallen so far?
Super Bad, Hot Fuzz, Dewey Cox.
Well-
See, this is the last year where I actually like the fucking top 3 movies that came
What
out.
was the last good Jim Carrey movie, TJ? Because I mean,
Oh, it's been a while.
it might be.
It's been
fucking,
a minute, son.
It might be time for fucking Jim Carrey to get deep fat fried. He's in the news a lot with his paintings. Not really so much his TV show work or his
And the
movie
fact that
work.
he's a fucking nut job.
He is a nut job. I kind of like that about him. Though.
Yeah, I like that too. I actually wish they would.
I like that more about him than his films. at
Oh,
this
you know
point.
his TV show Kidding is actually pretty good.
I'm glad.
It's really depressing, but it's pretty good.
Kind of like his career at this.
So
point.
let's see. Okay, so setting that aside, let's see. He's doing Sonic the Hedgehog, which is going to be awful.
That's awful. So
And the scenes that we've seen of him in that movie look awful.
yeah, it's a terrible movie all around.
Yeah. So let's see. Dark Crimes.
No idea.
Don't know what that's about. The Bad Batch. Dumb and Dumber 2.
The last one I saw that he made, horrible.
Anchorman 2. Kick-Ass 2. Cold Dead Hand. That's not even a movie. That's just a fucking
Kick-Ass. Was he in the original Kick-Ass or was he only in Kick-Ass 2?
Kick-Ass 2.
So I like Kick-Ass 1. Kick-Ass 2 was just kind of...
Presidential Reunion Christmas Carol. Oh, he was terrible. I Love You, Philip Morris. I haven't seen it, but I've heard good things.
That
I
was a
saw
good
it.
movie. That was a good movie.
Yeah, I saw it. It was good.
Okay, so that would be the last one he did was good. That's 2009. So 10
Okay,
years ago.
10 years.
It's been 10 years since you've seen.
decade.
It's been 10 years since you've seen Jim Carrey not suck, basically.
Well, I mean, he was in that documentary, The Andy and Me.
Yeah.
He didn't suck in that, but he was just Jim Carrey. in
He was
that.
just being Jim Carrey.
Maybe he just needs to start doing speaking tours.
Yeah.
I like his paintings too.
Yeah, they're fun.
I follow him.
His
He's one of the
political
few
cartoons.
like just weird like big celebrities that I follow on Twitter because he posts almost nothing but original paintings that are like, I don't know, just crazy political paintings.
Yeah, like here's Trump eating a dog turd.
Yeah. Here's Nancy Pelosi with a toilet bowl for a mouth. Mitch McConnell
Well,
shitting
I mean,
in it.
you know what? How else do we expect Jim Carrey to turn out? I mean, he made a bunch of money. He's obviously always been nuts.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, and like, look, when you have that much money, it makes you fucking weirdness, eccentric. I mean, obviously, he's not getting these big Hollywood films at this point.
It definitely allows you some latitude in your life. You're not going to be surrounded when you have as much money as Jim Carrey by people going like, "Hey, Jim, you need to walk it back." You know.
No.
I think it's funny that his career pretty much ended with Yes Men, and I've got a feeling that that's probably what Jim Carrey's got.
I didn't notice we had the murderer on the screen for the last few minutes.
Oh, we did?
Yeah. Oops.
Oh, well.
Oopsie daisy. Anyway, I guess it's probably time to go talk about some murders. So,
all right, let's do that.
Some moitas.
see you guys in the murder show.
Yep.